Hey folks, Brian here with the Coastal Patrol Cub. Just wanted to do a short video today to show something. So those of you who don't know me personally, I am a big guy. And when I say big guy, I mean I'm 6'4" and over 200 pounds. We'll leave it at that for right now. I'm losing weight. I've lost like 15 pounds in the last month and a half, so I'm working on that part. But big guy, long legs, etc., etc. And people ask sometimes. So people who haven't had a cub, maybe the other big guys are like, hey, will I fit? Or other people are like, how in the hell do you fit in a cub? Valid question, right? So I just wanted to do a quick video because I was testing something out. So this is me actually in the front seat of the cub. I will say, to the question of how you fit, so first of all, as all tall guys know, it depends a lot on where you carry your height. So for me, I have very long legs, is where a lot of my height really is. So for example, a buddy of mine owned a Stinson side-by-side seating, normal control panel, and yoke. And shortly after he bought it, I was visiting him. He's like, hey, let's go fly, whatever. I go over there, I hop in the passenger seat of the Stinson, and the yoke is like right here. It's like, thunk. No, we can't go fly today. Like literally, I could not get anywhere near full control motion on the yoke, and there was nowhere for me to get out. Now, again, also depends on how the plane is configured. He mentioned there's a kit that he could get that can slide the seat back a little bit, whatever. He just didn't have that. So with that kit, maybe I would, but a lot of times in side-by-side airplanes, I also, before I bought the Cub, I was looking at a Sonics. I had the exact same issue. It wasn't, my knees would hit the control panel, right? That was where I ran into issues. So I tell people, part of the reason I got a Cub, flying from the back seat, is actually great for a tall guy like me because my legs are on either side of the seat in front of me. There's no knee clearance issues whatsoever, and it's got the control stick, right? So there's no issue there either. So it's a small airplane, and it's a tight fit, but in terms of functionally, it works actually quite well for me. I did sit in a buddy's Champ once that was a little more elbow room, which was kind of nice. But yeah, I fit fine in the Cub. Rear seat is great. Front seat, I'll admit I have issues, but that's why I was taking this video real quick. So what I've done right now, I've done in other videos, and I'll link it. I've got a nice Trig seat back radio. One of the things I realized, so it's got a nice thick seat cushion on it. And I actually talked to the folks at Pine Gar Aviation that made it for me, and was talking about, maybe getting a new seat back made for a couple reasons. A couple little things I want to do just a little bit differently now that I've been flying with it a while. But also thinking about getting a thinner seat back cushion. Here's why. So here's me in the front seat. Now I do have a control panel to worry about, at least, right? The front is cozier, but I just want to show, so what I've done right now, I actually just have the canvas on the seat, and I have no seat cushion on the bottom, but I fit. Again, I am in, I can access the controls comfortably. Now, so you've got these, these triangular struts right here. When my foot is down a little lower, I mean, it's tight, but once I'm up through there, now I've got full paddle clearance. I've got, the other thing I tell people I actually really love about the Cub, once I get used to them, heel brakes are great for me because I have big, long feet to go with the rest of my frame. I wear size 15s, and one problem I have with airplanes with toe brakes is honestly, I have a hard time staying off the brakes because my feet, the way my legs have to be positioned to fit in naturally pushes the toe of my foot forward, right? If someone's got their leg extended more, their toe is going to be naturally pointing more up. Since my legs are crammed in, my toe naturally goes down. So having the heel brakes is like the opposite for me. If someone's, a little more straight leg, maybe the heel brakes would be an issue, but for me, it's very rare that I would accidentally apply brakes, right? Whereas on standard toe brake airplanes, my instructors would always yell at me for riding the brakes, and I have to be very, very intentional about being very light on my toes. Whereas this, I have to be very intentional about pressing the brakes, which I love. All that is to say, again, I am in the front seat of my Cub. I am fitting to the point where I could safely fly. Obviously, you solo from the rear seat in the Cub unless you want to throw some ballast in the back to get the weight and balance good. But the main reason I wanted to really pay attention to this is, I have a son. He's 16. He's really interested in flying himself. I like to take him flying, and eventually, we're going to get him trained, and we're going to get him flying the Cub. So obviously, I'm going to want to get him some rear seat time. so he can get that experience. And so the only way to manage the radio is from the rear seat as well. So that gives him the opportunity to do some radio management stuff. Um, so I wanted to make sure, like, hey, if I can't fly from the front seat, this is going to be an issue. But I absolutely can. Now, I'll tell you, sitting on just the canvas seat back, right? Like, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Of course not. And I could probably put, maybe a little bit of cushion in and still be okay. And then I could probably put a little cushion. I'll grab I got my cushion set back there, so I might try that later, putting the seat bottom cushion on and sitting and making sure that I still fit. But at the end of the day, like, I could do this for an hour for a training flight. I'm not going cross country like this, but I could do it for some training flights. Certainly, it's whatever. It's manageable. Go get a massage afterwards. Good to go, right? So anyway, that's all I wanted to show. Have a good one.